Hello, Covington County. Welcome to What's Up, Covington County. We'll say it's a day in September, and it's a little bit cloudy out there, but it's getting better. But we've got, just like that old Temptation song, we've got sunshine on a cloudy day. We've got sunshine in our heart, as the old gospel song goes, and we've got sunshine in the studio today. Miss Katie King's here. She's with the Full Tummy's project, which is something we're going to discuss today. And y'all pay particular attention to what she's got to say and about this story. Uh, it's important to Covington County, and it's not just about Andalusia. It's about the whole county. Uh, and I'm going to try to do something which is really difficult for me, and that's shut up and let her do most of the talking. Uh, Katie, we're glad to have you on here. Thank you
for
so
having
much.
me. I appreciate it so much. I'm always excited to come and talk about the project and let people know what we're doing right here in Covington County. And I appreciate the invitation.
Well, we're glad to have you here. How long is it's Full Tummies? Is that spelled Y apostrophe S or IES?
It's actually the Full Tummy Project of
Full
Covington
Tummy.
County.
Okay.
Yep, the Full Tummy Project. So we started this project back in 2014. It was the brainchild of the MOPS group, which is Mothers of Preschoolers. It was started at the Presbyterian Church several years ago. And I started attending that group with my first daughter. And that group of women decided to take on a service project. And what started as a very small idea with just a few women has now grown into what we have today, which is a nonprofit that we run here in the county, and it has just grown tremendously from that first little seed that was planted by one of our members of MOPS. Has now grown. We're an independent nonprofit, 501c3. So it has really changed over the years when we started.
If I understand right, you're in every school in the county.
That's correct. We're in 7 elementary schools. We cover, and that has taken some time to grow.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because we had to get our coffers full. You know, nothing's free. Unfortunately, I wish it were. We could feed everybody, but we're in Andalusia Elementary, Opp, Strawn, Red Level, Pleasant Home, and we added W.S. Harlan and Fleta last year. So we are in all 7 elementary schools, feeding K through 6 grade students.
Now, we've talked about where you're at, but what do y'all actually do? What's the mechanics of this, Katie? How does it work?
There are several logistics to this project. We have fine-tuned it over the years. It used to be a disaster and was funny, and we look back and laugh at ourselves. But anything worthwhile has growing pains and takes time. We used to pack bags, just moms, and we would have our babies in our little car seats, and then we'd have, the baby would cry. So anyway, we have it fine-tuned now. So what we do, we get all of our product. The point of the project, just to give a little background, the point of the project is to feed kids over the weekends. We found that after talking to different people in the community, counselors, teachers, administration, that there's that gap of 2 days. Our schools do such a good job of feeding the kids, really taking care of all of our kids' needs during the week with breakfast, snacks, lunches, things like that. But some kids were going home Friday and not eating it again until Monday morning when they got back to breakfast.
Correct.
And that is just heartbreaking. It's unfair, and it's not right. It's a basic need that we all have. And so we decided, how could we fill that gap? So our project is not unique. There are projects like this all over the country, backpack programs. Most of the time they're run out of food banks. But we have our own project here. So what we do is we pack non-perishable, shelf-stable food with pop-top lids, easy open, so that a kindergartner can open everything. Everything has to be, you can't use water to cook it or heat, because some of our, believe it or not, there are people in this county that do not have running water, and some do not have electricity. So
yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
A lot of people do not we have such a beautiful community, and it's hard to believe that there are people here that are really living below the poverty line, but they are. So everything we put in our bags is ready to eat and easy open. So we put in breakfast, lunch, dinner items, snacks, and a 100% juice box in each bag. We have pack days. We have corporate groups civic groups, clubs, kids groups come in. We have great youth that come and work so hard for us. We've had some amazing high school students who, it's just amazing to see these kids with a heart.
Why don't you get us someday when you have a pack day? Get us to come in there
Oh,
and
that would
film
be
a
a
little
great
bit of
idea.
that
I would love that.
and show it to
I
the
would
community. I
love
think that'd be a great thing to do.
I did a Facebook Live one day because we had the local Stars cheerleaders come, and
Mhm.
I think I counted like 65 or 70 people packing bags, and I started crying. And I said, I have to go live on Facebook and show everyone this amazing effort that these and their kids, they're
Well, yeah,
serving other kids that they probably know. So
we'll put it on Facebook, but we'll also put it on YouTube.
oh, great, okay, awesome.
And
It's a great. When we pack these bags, it is a wonderful atmosphere. It's easy work. We talk, we laugh, gossip. It is a really fun experience for these
kind of like
groups.
a homecoming float with a real purpose.
That's right. That's right. We all have a common goal. It's fun. It's simple work, so you can just enjoy the fellowship and the community. It's a great way for these civic clubs to give back easily, and all as a group. We have banks that come in, different companies that bring their groups to do some community service. So, and we love that. We can pack for 2 weeks in about 45 minutes. We've got it down to a science. So it's rapid. A lot of our youth groups and our high school kids, we of course make them compete and time them, and
Sure.
and that makes everything more fun. So it has really, we used to not do that. We used to just have an open pack day, and but now we really schedule these groups to come in, and so we can do that in that 45 minutes and get it done.
So, folks, this is the way I kind of had it originally told to me, and this is really what the end. Not trying to. She's a lot better communicator than I am. But we've got a lot of people in Covington County that we've got a lot of children. I want to share this story about when I was working in an organization after school here for about 2 years. We had a lady that brought in 3 little boys with her, and we tested them, and they do some association with pictures, and every picture that we put in off the front of those 3 little boys, they associated with food. Now, we knew they were hungry, but they literally had shit, good Lord, churches and a lot of other folks came together and got a roof over their head, and then finally they didn't have power or anything. Those little boys would come in every day, and we would feed them a snack or something afterwards. And I'm no longer working at this place, so I'm not going to. We endeavored everything that we had left over to try to get to those kids every day to take home, because I was pretty sure that was about all. Mm-hmm. Years later, I've seen the lady. She's working in the community. She's making a place. She's got a roof over her head. The kids are growing up. They're not hungry. But folks, that's not Appalachia. That's we can talk about that's right here. That was occurring probably 8 blocks from where I'm sitting on the square.
That's absolutely true.
And in 8 blocks, I could be at the courthouse. I could be at City Hall. I could be at the library. I could also be in a place where there's no food in the cupboards. And that's what the Full Tummy Project is about. It's not for old people, although there are plenty of old people that need it. They've got Meals on Wheels if that's available. This is for young people, the future of America. We're going to stop right here. We'll be back shortly. And that's the truth. Welcome back to What's Up, Covington County. Got Katie King here from the Full Tummy Project, a local project. It's not unique to Covington County. There are other projects like it, but the goal of this project is to make sure that people in Covington County that don't always have meals, and this is particularly people under the age of like 12.
Correct.
That don't have a meal on the weekends get that meal. It's locally funded. Organizations and businesses fund it. In the end, They can only do as much as they've got money for because ain't nobody sending them down manna from heaven. And we're going to talk about what they do. We had a great conversation off screen, and we're going to go there. We're just so thankful that we've got this organization in the community and people like Katie that can come here and push it forward. We were talking about the people that get this. And, I've heard some pretty crass comments about people that are on the dole, and I might even been guilty of making a few of those comments in my life. But this is not about people that are deadbeats or, ne'er-do-wells or scofflaws, whatever you want to call them. I've got a lot of old language for it. I don't know what the new language for it is. This is about children, folks. Children. Chillinses. Little people. They ain't done nothing to anybody. Hadn't hurt anybody. And they need a decent start every day. Tell us about what, statistics and those kind of things.
Well,
Kate.
I think that the reason that that the MOPS group had such a heart for children and wanted to do something for children was because we have them. And the thought of not being able to feed our own kids was heartbreaking. And even I have 2 daughters, and I can't go to the grocery store for less than, I don't know, $150, $200 a week, and that's exorbitant. I mean, and we get whatever we want. I go in and I get whatever we want. I plan my menus and I get whatever we want. It's expensive. It is expensive for everybody, no matter what your season of life, stage of life. So we thought, how can we affect these children's lives the most? And a basic need is feeding them. This is not a luxury item. This is not something that we're that's a gift. It's a basic functioning need of life. And so statistically, the teachers and administrators, we know that if a child is not fed, their test scores are going to be lower. They will not be able to pay attention in class. They won't be able to sit still in class. The term now, you get hangry. I am the worst. I get a headache if I have not eaten. If my blood sugar's low.
You need a Snickers.
I need a Snickers, and it is a basic need of life. It doesn't matter who you are. So we thought, well, what can we do? We can feed them. The schools do a wonderful job of feeding our kids. At Andalusia, I know in particular, we have 2 different grants. We have a breakfast in the classroom grant. So every child, regardless of socioeconomic status, gets that breakfast every morning. And they also have a USDA fruits and vegetable grant where they get this different fresh fruit and vegetable every afternoon. And that is something that our nutrition program has done, and it's fantastic. But there's that 2-day gap, Saturday and Sunday. And so we decided that on Fridays, what's interesting about this program is that it's totally anonymous. We do not know the recipients of this, and the parents cannot sign up for it. The children are identified by the counselors and the teachers and the administration. And we all know that teachers are the most intelligent people in a community. They know everybody. They know everybody's business in a good way. They know who's suffering.
Sometimes they know some horrible things.
They know some horrible things. They spend their own money every single day, clothing, feeding, taking care of these babies. And so we go to them at the beginning of the year and ask them, where are your needs? What are your needs? And they give us back a number, just a number. We need 39 bags. We need 26 bags. And so we pack a certain amount of bags every 2 weeks. Right now, we just started our year, and we're going to be serving 278 kids a week in Covington County in 7 schools. So we will deliver 278 bags a week. We have different delivery people for each school.
So in that 278 bags, there are essentially 6 meals.
Yeah, well, yes, 2 breakfast, 2 lunch, 2 dinner items, and then 4 snacks and a juice. So we try to get
That's a lot of food.
It is a lot of food. We estimate about $5 a bag per week. Mm-hmm. That means our budget is really high, which is unfortunate, but food's expensive. We all know that. Can't get a gallon of milk for less than $6 or $7 these days, and that's that goes like that in my house. My kids are
Oh,
milk
yeah.
drinkers. So.
Yeah, when they're that age, they're all calves.
That's right. Well, my husband still is too. He loves milk. He's kind of weird. And anyway, I won't go off on that tangent.
Do we need to cut that section?
He does. He's like a big kid. Anyway, we know the cost of food is high. We are very blessed in this town. We have 2 local companies who are providing our food for us at bulk wholesale cost, which is unreal. I give them an order. They deliver the food. It's done, and they're giving us great pricing. We would not be able to do what we do without these local businesses. Piggly Wiggly, which was Winn-Dixie started it, but Piggly Wiggly's continuing it, and we're so blessed that they agreed to continue that relationship with us. And then Andalusia Distributing is just a wonderful
the
source.
Joneses over there,
yes,
great people.
Wonderful, wonderful people who are contributing to the program just by saying, yes, we will do this for you. We tried lots of different methods of getting our food, and this is definitely the best arrangement.
Folks, when you go shopping and you're thinking about what you're looking at, remember that's what those people are doing for the community, and they're not getting anything back out of it.
Not at all. They are probably
losing money on it by the time you take what it costs them to assemble the packaging and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And take a minute. That's what we talk about when we talk about our community and giving back to the community and shopping local. That's why you want to do it, because if we don't shop with those kind of people, this resource isn't there. Anyway,
That's
I'm
right.
sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. We could not do it without those businesses. We could not do what we do without local volunteers. Jenny Pate is another volunteer. She doesn't like to be on camera, so she's not here today. She lets me do all of this kind of stuff, but she is the hands and feet of this organization. She is incredible. There are people who donate. We are a complete nonprofit. We have no overhead. Every dime goes straight to the project. But what that means is we have to fundraise a lot, because our budget is about $35,000 to $40,000 a year. That's for 31 weeks of service.
That's a pretty good deal considering as many places as you go.
No, it is. It is. We've tried to tweak our products to be about $5 or less per bag of food. So, but we do fundraise, and Jenny is definitely the brains behind all of our fundraisers, and she is wonderful at getting people to understand the need. And so, with that being said, almost no one tells us no when we ask for money. And some days we have a P.O. box, and I went a couple months ago, and I opened the P.O. box, and there was a check for $5,000 in the P.O. box. I had not asked for it. I had prayed for it, and it is such a blessing. And I cried in the post office, and the people probably thought I was crazy. But when you get an unsolicited check I know, well, I am crazy. I'm crazy anyway. Everybody knows that. But when you get an unsolicited donation of $5,000, it is an affirmation
of a lot of different
things. Lot of different things, and it was a good. But that happens all the time to us, and it's when you are. So now we can talk about theology. When you are living out God's instruction to take care of the least of these and to do these things, it is not me, but we are being blessed in very odd, creepy ways. God's kind of creepy sometimes.
Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit more when we come back. We're going to take a commercial break right now. Welcome back, folks. I don't want to sound solemn. I mean, usually I'm the kind of powerful, upbeat, not powerful, but usually upbeat about things. This is not a sad thing we're talking about. This is a great opportunity in life, and it's the Full Tummy Project here in Covington County. We're talking with Katie King about that, and Katie's kind of, you do a lot of the, I guess, the public relations, that kind of stuff for this organization. They serve without pay, kind of like the staff at WKNI, and they do it because they realize that there's good to be, done. We're talking about this as a service, and I want to say this. I am a selfish person.
Oh, we all.
Yeah, and I've been involved in a lot of service projects in my life. Several times in my life, carried off to them kicking, punching. Don't carrying me and every time I've gotten involved and gotten to the place and started to work, it's like a minute or two afterwards, it's like, gosh, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm doing this. And you know, it's so rewarding. You know, if you spend enough time doing that, after a while, you kind of get to the point where you, I don't know if it's the endorphins you're producing or what, but you feel good about doing that.
Stepping outside of yourself, not thinking about yourself so much.
And that's what y'all are doing an awful lot of right now. Tell us about, you know, folks. Sometimes it's like church. I don't think the preacher wants to get that played out there, but he's got to. They can't provide for these people without money, and these aren't deadbeats. And like I said again, this is about the children. It doesn't matter if their parents were deadbeats. Tell us a little bit about where your funding come from, and if you can, we'll put this on our Facebook page as well. But if you can give an address where they can send donations, that kind of stuff, please do that.
Yeah, so we are completely privately funded. We got our 501c3 status last year, so all of our donations are tax deductible. We did that mainly so that we could apply for grants and different things that require that tax ID number. But that also means that individuals can write their donations off as well. We do apply for grants. Walmart gave us a large grant last year for $2,500.
Wow.
So any grant that Publix has given us money, they don't even have a store in Andalusia, but Publix is they're just good.
Yeah, they are.
So we do apply for grants. We have individuals that send us checks monthly as basically like a tithe. Different churches that donate, but most of our funding comes from businesses, sponsorships, things like that. We do have a large fundraiser in the spring. We do a golf tournament in May, and we just had our last tournament in May. We raised about $13,000 that day. The way that we raise money with that is with team fees, of course, and then whole sponsorships. So there are businesses in Covington County that just write checks right and left for us, and it's wonderful. Like I said earlier, I don't think anybody's ever told us no. And the interesting thing is, even $25, that's 5 bags of food. That's feeding 5 kids. So you can really put numbers on this and understand that even your $25, $50 donation is making an impact. We are also planning a fundraiser for this fall. We did it last fall. It's called Dance and Donate. It was really, really fun. We had a band and food, and we did a silent auction and raffle items and things like that. Gave people a chance to dress up, go on a date night, basically. So everybody likes that in Andalusia. I mean, we're not a real happening town.
Got a lot to do, but
got a lot to do, but not a lot of parties to go out.
I don't know why somebody hadn't done a Downton Abbey theme.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Well, I don't know what we're going to do this year. It'll be in November, and we'll do that again. Get a band and and sell tickets. So that's how we'll have money for that. We'll have our raffle and our auction and ticket sales. And so with those two big events, we try to get the bulk of our budget done in those events. But then throughout the year, people donate. Like I mentioned, a $5,000 check just showing up in the mailbox. A lot of that happens at the end of the year for tax reasons, and I'm fine. I will take any extra money you need to get off your hands. I am fine to take that. We do have a P.O. box. It's P.O. Box 211 here in Andalusia, where I get I collect all those checks personally every week and put them in the bank. CCB helps us do all of our banking. Keep track, and Greg White does all of our taxes for us, which is just amazing because I am not a numbers person, if you can imagine. I'm more of a verbal person. Imagine that. And so I'm surrounded by people who are filling in all of those little gaps that make things look hard when you have to deal with the government and taxes and all that kind of stuff. But they make it easy for me, so that really all I have to do is coordinate, talk it up, and then I rely on all these other people to do all of the hard stuff. It's wonderful, and it's working. So we're having success. We hear back from the teachers and the counselors that yes, the kids are coming to the office. If they haven't gotten their bags yet, they're asking for them. They expect them. They want them and need them. So I think what we're doing is the right thing at this point, I hope.
Oh, I don't have any doubt that what you're doing is the right thing. And I don't have any doubt that the motivation is the proper motivation. Uh, and this is something I believe about Covington County. Uh, I, I like to think that, and I say this quite often, that Covington County is the most welcoming
Oh, it's
place I've
unreal.
ever been in my
Yeah.
life, but I've also got to say it's the most giving place I've ever been in my life.
Unreal.
And I learned this a long time ago. Some of the most giving people that you'll ever see in your life are some that have people that have the least.
Oh, that's absolutely true.
But in Covington County, some of the people that are most blessed seem to be very helpful as well, and I think that's a good thing, folks. That we live in the midst of this. If you're watching this, you're probably not a candidate for a full tummy meal. I hope you're not. But Covington County is one of the poorest counties and one of the poorest states in the United States. And don't feel sorry for us, because thank goodness we've got enough pride in this community that we're trying to bootstrap ourselves out of it. But you've got folks in this community that won't see this show because they don't have power in their house. They don't have running water. They go to school with your children and your grandchildren every day, and your kids know who they are. And those kids don't say to each other, "I didn't get a bath last night," or I sure am hungry. Thank goodness that the net picks that up for them during the week. A lot of them, as they get older, get opportunities to get baths at gym at school and that kind of stuff. But there are a lot of people in Covington County, nearly 300 of them, between the ages of 5 and 12, that they've identified. They're trying to help. And folks, if you can help them in any way, what's that address, that mailing address again, Kate?
It's P.O. Box 211, 211.
211 Andalusia, Alabama 36420. They've got a Facebook page, Full Tummy.
The Full Tummy Project of Covington County. And we really do, a lot of people don't do Facebook, and I understand that, but it's really the easiest way for us to communicate to the most amount of people. So we put pack days on there, needs. Right now we do have an actual need for someone to pick up the food at the Piggly Wiggly for us. They can't deliver it, so we need someone with a trailer. So we're looking for someone to do that for us about every 6 weeks. So that that's how we use Facebook. I also try to communicate in the newspaper. I love the Star News. It's a great local paper, and so we
do too.
Oh, I just love them. So we try to put information out in the paper as much as we can too. So try to communicate our needs. They're typically pretty specific, what we need, because we like to kind of streamline what we're doing, and so yeah, we try to use it, and here we are at WKNI. So it's a great. I appreciate all the opportunities I have to chat about this.
We're gonna be back in just a minute to close this up. We have some final thoughts about this. Thanks, Katie. Appreciate it. Folks, welcome back to our final segment of What's Up Covington County for this particular organization. I certainly hope it's not the last time that we can get together and talk about the Full Tummy Project here in Covington County, because it is a worthwhile endeavor that you're involved with. Doing the Lord's work is, as I say, I've been in some situations in my life where I came away from doing some hard work and felt like it didn't get very much done, and I'd always come away from it and say that situation and say that's a poor way to serve the Lord. This is a good way to serve the Lord, and it's all volunteer, folks, and they're really just trying to, Jesus Christ said in the Olivet Discourse to suffer the little children under him. And of course, he meant all of us spiritual children. But I also think that kind of like the pictures that we saw when we were in church with primary, he'd be sitting on the rock and he was literally surrounded by children. This is an opportunity for those, even if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, for you to do something that's virtuous. And for all the criticisms that people may want to make about Christ or whatever, I don't remember seeing anybody, even the folks that try to negate him, talk about the bad things he did.
That's right. That's right.
You could do a lot worse. And Katie, you are, as you said, a 501c.
Mm-hmm.
That means that the donations that you make to them are tax deductible. They can give you a receipt for that donation.
I have a receipt.
That you can put into your tax returns and get money for it. The one thing that she said, but doesn't get said, is that there are literally, through the course of the 4 or 5 years, over 1,000 children in Covington County that have had meals provided for them that they wouldn't have gotten, that don't have the opportunity to come on this show or any other way and say, thank you for letting me go to sleep without my stomach growling tonight. And I think that's something to think about. You've got children in this community that go to sleep not just during the week, not just on the weekends, but during the week that sleep in places without heat. They don't have all the advantages, that a lot of their contemporaries have. If you just believe in what's fair, try to help your fellow man. And I think that's what these people are trying to do. I wouldn't have them on here if we didn't believe that. But again, it's the Full Tummy Project. Where do you keep most of your supplies? At the First Methodist Church in the basement?
Yes. Mm-hmm. The Methodist Church here has been very generous to let us use an empty classroom for our pantry. So we have a setup over there with shelves, and we keep all of our food and all of our packed bags. So we have one central location. That's also where we pack our bags, is in the fellowship hall at the Methodist Church. And that has been a wonderful situation for us.
Now, this is just off the wall crazy thinking. I probably should have asked this before the show, but do y'all ever do things like have a coupon drive? Or, ma'am?
What's a coupon drive?
You're doing one?
No, what is it?
Well, these discount coupons that you get out of the Sunday paper and that kind of stuff, where you can contribute it toward to the price of food. Can you use those, or could you? Or have y'all ever thought about doing that, or does the 501c keep you from being able to do that?
No, we don't. There's not a lot of restrictions, amazingly, from the government on us, as long as we keep a certain amount of money in the bank, which I don't think we'll ever reach. What I think they say under $150,000, which I think we'll keep.
There's no danger there.
No. We spend every penny we make on food every single year. We always have a zero balance, but. We tell people, a lot of people want to do different drives and food drives and things, and the reason that we kind of just really prefer just a monetary donation is because our money can go a lot further because we buy in bulk and we buy at wholesale prices. We've had several people do like food drives and things like that, and we get a lot of unusable food. They'll bring,
and that was one of
kind of random, mac and cheese or things like that that we can't actually pack.
Right.
Now, if that does happen, and we certainly don't turn away any donation. A lot of times we will take what we can use and then give the rest to the Christian Service Center or other church food banks and things like that, local churches. But yeah, our dime just goes a lot further when we can place a big bulk order and do it that way. So a lot of people do ask me about different things, and it's just that it's just the way of the world.
Well, no, I after talking to you earlier, I'd already figured out that you. When they had 3 cans for $1 of tomato paste, that probably wasn't the thing that you wanted to bring in.
No. Yeah, and we look at different types of items, but we also try to think about nutrition first and kid friendly. And we do try to, we do always do a can of vegetables. We try to do like an applesauce, sugar-free applesauce, things, not sugar-free, but no sugar added applesauce, 100% juice, things that are healthy and nutritious, but also that a kid would want to eat. There's, I won't say name any names, but I was looking at Winn-Dixie or Piggly Wiggly the other day at some different things that canned meats, protein, and I thought, well, maybe that, and I went, nobody wants to eat that. I won't tell you what it was because there's probably a lot of people that still eat that around here when they're out on their fishing boats and things like that. But
I was going to say now, you're obviously referring to potted meat and Vienna sausage.
No, we do Vienna sausage because it is a high protein food and they are very cheap. And so yes, we do Vienna sausage every week and we do like a ravioli. But there are some other products that I was like, I don't think a kid would eat that. So even though it would be economical, we're probably not going to do it. But yeah, tomato paste, no. We can't do like condensed soups. A lot of people think about like chicken noodle soup.
Yeah, because you got to add
water and heat it up for it to taste good. So we do a lot of the ravioli where you can just.
I figured that Pop-Tarts would be a.
We do Pop-Tarts, Nutri-Grain bars, granola bars, things like that. Trail mix, that's good protein. Different trail mix. We do Slim Jims because that is a great source of. That's a great source of protein for the kids and. They're growing. They need that. You know, they're at they're in their a very small stage of life where their bodies are growing and their brains are growing. So we try to think about that as well. So
yeah, well, I think it's a great thing that you're doing, folks. It's the Full Tummy Project. It's locally based. They're kind of like WKNI and a lot of other folks. They're not going to get their money from New York City.
No.
I always joke about that. A few months ago, I made that thing in the statement. Now they don't get it from New York City, and Jared spliced a thing from a pasta commercial where the guy goes New York City into it, but they're not going to get their money from. Most of their money is going to come from here, and they're going to keep it local. And I'm thankful for those people at Piggly Wiggly and at Andalusia Distributing that are doing so. If you can't do any business with them, at least thank God for them and pray for them.
That's good people, very good people.
You know, you don't have people that do that kind of stuff everywhere. But folks, I know y'all are a good giving audience out there. I'm not. We get my hat all passed around.
Well, and like you said, of course we need financial donations, but there are so many ways to get involved, to volunteer, to come pack, to pray for the children. I mean, or pray for us. Good Lord knows I need as much praying as I can get. But there are spreading the word of mouth, saying, hey, if you hear of someone that's looking for a way to get involved, have you heard about the Full Tummy Project? Yeah. Since we started on Facebook, our audience, our communication has grown tremendously. So that to us is half the battle, is getting that the Full Tummy Project to be a household name. You know, we have so many charities in this county that are local charities that do so much for other people, and to be on the tip of somebody's tongue, you know, like some of these other charities is we covet that, because that means that we're in the mind, and when you do have some extra money that you might want to give, maybe we could take that off your hands. So there are many ways to get involved with the project throughout the year. So.
One more time, your mailing address.
It's the Full Tummy Project of Covington County, and our mailing address is P.O. Box 211 in Andalusia. And then you can like us on Facebook, and it's the Full Tummy Project of Covington County.
And it has that information there as well.
All of that information is there, and that goes directly. I can answer any questions on there as well. So, and I'm happy to do that anytime.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
We've been the fortunate ones for having you on here with us.
Much.
Folks, this Full Tummy Project. Thanks for watching. Take it to heart. We appreciate you watching anytime, any day, but particularly appreciate you watching this segment. It's a good thing they do. As I always say, be kind to one another, and that's what this is. And shop local. Take care. We'll see you.